Eagle Eye.
Shia LaBeouf.
Is it? Yeah.
Attention. The movie guys love movies. Any comments about how the new film Mother's Day could become an instant holiday classic, like Miracle on 34th Street, are purely for entertainment purposes only. Isn't that right, Gary Marshall?
Wrong. In that movie, Santa Claus took care of everything. There was Macy's, Gimbals, but Santa Claus came and he fixed the whole thing. We don't have Santa Claus.
Then we get him.
Who?
Santa Claus, we get him. That's the ad campaign. There it goes. I have the chills.
I tell you, if Santa Claus shows up on Mother's Day, I'll go see it.
Right?
Actually, I'm going to go see it anyway.
Oh, you have
Bunch
to.
of hot moms running around.
Absolutely. MILFs, right? It should be called MILFs.
If they call that movie MILF, number one at the box. You got 1 week before Captain America. That's what would put it at number one.
How did that not test better than Mother's Day?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's naming them after the holidays. He's not screwing around.
No, and he uses the same sparklies, and he also uses the same way of doing the Brady Bunch version of the movie, all of it.
Yeah, whoever offered up that stock footage of the sparklies and soft focus,
That is all over it.
they're making money on the Marshall franchise. Right?
Yeah, there's something about maybe his eyesight. It really speaks to him at this age, but he likes that sparkle. Big. It's like jazz hands for movies.
Welcome to the Movie Showcast, everybody, part of the vast and sprawling Movie Guys empire. You shoot us in a dream, you better wake up and apologize.
Nice.
You reach ground zero for all things movies and comedy. We bring the two together right here on our show every week with rants, sketches, previews, characters, jokes, bits, banter, special guests, and more. You can expect that in the next hour or so as we broadcast from the Admirals Club, our studio here in the heart of Burbank Airport's flyover zone. They don't stop. Right on cue. They don't stop making movies.
It's gonna be a good show.
So we don't stop making comedy shows about movies, which means you can get a new show every week, absolutely free of charge. And we encourage you to follow us on social media as well, at The Movie Guys on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, which is also free of charge. And get interactive. Basically, just search The Movie Guys on Google, Yahoo, or
Bing!
and we come right up. I'm your host for the hardest working comedy show in the airwaves, Paul Preston, here with Adam Witt.
Ned, I would love to stay and talk with you, but I'm not gonna.
Karen Volpe.
You don't understand. There is no solution. You won't go away.
And Bart Caius.
First, they forget the little umbrellas for the wine, and now snails on the food.
So now you know who everybody is. Later in the show, we'll be joined by our guest, an actor, director, and puppeteer who has worked on the classic films like Babe and the Men in Black movies. His most recent work was on the set of the smash hit The Jungle Book.
Whoa.
In theaters now. We're very topical.
And you know what's so amazing about all those movies is you can't see any of the strings on the puppets.
Nope.
Pretty impressive.
They
Right?
erase those later.
Is that what they do?
He's
Yeah.
gonna tell us how they do that.
How that?
Well, Bart blew the whistle. It's all marionettes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's all Mary.
Don't ruin the magic.
Allan Trautman will be
Yay!
By the way, I did watch. I was doing my taxes, and so I just put on Hulu. And I gotta find a really random movie because I don't want to get sucked into it. So
Oh,
it's just
sure.
sort of there. And it was one of these Japanese.
because you got a lot of taxes to do, right?
I have a lot of taxes to do. Although it was wonderful that there's a slackerness that helped. I went to my tax guy, and he goes, I haven't filed. This is true. This is so bad. I haven't filed in 2008, 2009, 2010. That's through present. And he goes, 2008 through 2011, they're not going to care about that anymore. I'm like, oh.
Wait a minute. That's an
Okay.
option? Not paying is an option?
Well, I guess there's a 4-year.
So you just lay low for 4 years and you're home free?
Boom.
See,
Well-
all the people in my hometown are like, I'm taking notes right now. Let me write this
Well,
down.
and tell the people in your hometown,
Yeah.
what saved me is it helps to be super poor. It
We'll
helps
be-
to-
It's her hometown.
We'll be fine.
It helps to not make a whole lot of money from 2008 to, I don't know, maybe this year?
Good to know. See, Bart, you have a good job. You've been screwing it up.
I do not feel the burn. Let's just put it that way.
They'll find you.
Oh, so anyway, you don't have cable because you're still paying taxes. Hulu?
Oh, so this Japanese TV show is like one of those. And they did this special effect where it was like all the reaction shots of the guys. It was a giant monster that was going to come up and then step on the city or whatever.
Of course.
But when they would cut away, they had the giant monster laying on a slab tied down. But the people that were gathering around it, that were the reaction shots we just saw of people, were marionettes. And they would all like sort of do that little bouncy marionette thing as they were walking around this thing. And it was
What the hell movie is it?
wonderful.
Who knows?
It's
Right?
like Johnny Sacco or something. And his giant robot. I had a giant robot weekend, really.
Oh, good
Alan
for
may have
you.
been in that. He has a rather extensive IMDb. We'll find out.
We'll find out if he's been doing those.
But as ever, till then, we will bring you movie previews
Oh,
as we do every
boy.
week, prepping you for what's new in the multiplex. What are the new releases coming out? What do they have in store? Check in with us every week. This week sees 4 new films. It's a lot, so we're going to burn right through them, including Mother's Day, as we mentioned at the top. This is the latest from Gary Marshall.
Let me guess. A bunch of mothers get stuck in an elevator and they can't make it home in time for the holiday celebrations?
I'm not going to say you're wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, right?
Because I feel kind of like that might be it.
You're right. Plus Keanu, Key and Peele, in a movie where they pretend to be drug dealers in an attempt to steal back a kitten that was stolen from them.
What could possibly go hilarious?
Everything. And also Ratchet and Clank.
Ooh, Ratchet and Clank, Attorneys at Law.
Is that a vaudeville act?
70s cop show.
Stay tuned,
Ooh.
and we'll all find out.
Oh, boy.
And finally, Green Room, which goes wide this week after a short run and limited release. But would you look at that? Besides that, we have 3 of these movies being comedies. That's right, it's Hollywood's Comedy Clearinghouse. We've got kids' comedies, cat comedies, we even got a mom com. So come on down before this place gets wall-to-wall Captain America Civil War next week. We got comedies. That's right, Comedy Clearinghouse, just off the freeway next to the Little Shop of Horrors. Remember, our prices are actually quite reasonable.
Yeah, especially if you have Movie Pass, really. You can go to a number of movies.
And here's one of those comedies opening this weekend.
Well, it's gonna be okay. You're right, Clarence. I want you to meet Keanu. No. Oh my God, that's the cutest cat I've ever seen in my life.
I want to see this movie, even though I haven't seen the movie they're poking fun at, because the whole idea.
I know. How have we not seen John Wick yet?
The doggy revenge
I
movie.
don't know.
I
'cause
fell
it's
into
awesome.
Yeah, I fell into a YouTube hole of John Wick when I was doing the Keanu preview research. Oh, man, how
How
have I
have
not
Yeah,
seen
we
It
have
is
failed.
heaven. It is such heaven in a movie.
They messed with the wrong guy.
I super mess with the super wrong guy.
the
That's
best
the best
thing
thing
there
about
is.
it.
There's a whole speech about how the guy explains how he's the wrong guy.
Yeah,
He explains how wrong this guy was to mess with.
you done screwed up.
Yeah, and he explains it to his son, and then he throws his son out.
Yeah.
A window?
Oh, God. In the
Well,
scene where
metaphorically.
Hopefully, yeah, that's some
yeah,
Braveheart
And,
stuff going on there.
I love Cool Breeze Reeves. As
Cool
anyone who
Breeze.
doesn't know, Keanu means Cool Breeze Reeves in Hawaiian.
which
Well,
makes
actually,
him
Keanu just
cooler.
means cool
Cool
breeze.
Breeze. And then his last name is
Reeves
Reeves.
is- yeah.
Thank you, Bart.
But
First and
Keanu Reeves-
foremost,
here.
first and foremost, journalists.
Yes, we are
And
educated.
English teachers.
If I could translate the phrase,
Yes.
Keanu Reeves, cool breeze, Reeves.
Thank you, Adam.
But anyway, that's later.
Oh, all right.
First up,
sorry.
let's talk about the movie that kicked off our show, an
Okay.
all-star cast in Mother's Day. It's a movie about Sandy, a single mom who meets multiple moms, some single moms too, but numerous moms. Do we have a mom count on this movie?
About 40
All
months.
right, we better get going then. Here we go.
There's about 40 of them, but none of them look 40.
No. You can't look 40. You can be 40.
You can be it.
You can't look it.
Don't look it.
UB40?
You be 40.
Spend this day with a mother you'd like to as
Whoa,
Jennifer
hey.
Aniston, Kate Hudson, Julia Roberts, and Shay Mitchell star in Hot Moms Volume 1 Mother's Day.
When 3 generations of seemingly unconnected people find out they are indeed connected,
Uh-oh.
they all seek to reconcile their relationships with their mothers as Mother's Day approaches.
Whoa.
Well, you can't just bet there's going to be a whole lot of coming to terms in this movie.
Well, much like you'll have to come to terms with having paid $12 to see it. Spoiler alert, that's $12 for the non-3D screening. Second spoiler alert, there is no 3D screening in this movie.
In a world that can only exist in movies, Henry, played by Timothy Oliphant, leaves his wife Sandy, played by Jennifer Aniston, and marries a younger woman.
Okay, now, unless that younger woman is a younger version of Jennifer Aniston,
Right?
well, then I just ain't buying it. I mean, come on, Jennifer Aniston is already a younger version of Jennifer Aniston. The woman doesn't age.
Sandy tries to cope with the fact that her ex-husband has married a much younger woman, and all she has to rely on are her insanely hot looks, her incredible charm, her sparkling personality, the support of her adoring children, and the companionship of her best friend. Gosh, I hope she makes it.
It's going to be close.
It's going to be hard.
Jason Sudeikis plays the man who will soon sweep Sandy off her feet when they have a chance meeting while buying tampons.
Sure.
Sounds cute, but I liked it better when they did it the first time in On the Waterfront. Maybe you haven't seen it. It's been a while since I've seen it.
The good news here is Sudeikis gives everyone instant points for the drink when the title is mentioned game.
Happy Mother's Day.
There you go. The movie also stars Kate Hudson, whose noisy Southern parents show up unannounced to stay for a week and fight in her place instead of theirs.
Will they all get together and learn a little bit about life and love? Well, only if it's a Gary Marshall movie.
You know, I did see Hector Elizondo in this film, so
Yes?
that means, yes, it is, in fact, a Gary Marshall movie.
They will learn something about themselves.
My favorite part of the trailer is the guy doing voiceover, who is apparently unaware that people have heard voiceover over 1 million times. So he delivers it as if you're going to be blown away by the fact that there's a voice whose source you can't see, and that he can tell you what the movie is about. Here, listen. You'll see. He's very excited.
Sandy is a single mom.
Wow.
But
I can taste popcorn when I hear that
Yeah,
voice.
I could smell butter.
You can smell the Twizzlers.
Can smell
Do
butter.
that again, Paul.
Sandy is a single mom.
Yeah, I'm home with a cold on the couch
listen,
when I
let me
hear
take it
that.
one step further.
Oh, yeah?
However, if the trailer is nothing but that guy, it's creepy. Well, it's weird. It's odd.
What do you mean?
Well, listen.
Sandy is a single mom. Bradley is Mr. Mom. Jesse never sees her mom. Kristen never met her mom. This April, celebrate the one day that connects us all. Mother's Day.
He just knows too much about these people.
Anybody going in and pitching a story this week in Hollywood, use this voice the whole time. It kills. It kills it.
There you go.
You can't stop listening to that voice. You have to keep listening to it.
It's a story. All right, so go ahead and read me your story. So, I assume
Mother's Day?
I assume we're close to Mother's Day. Is it coming up?
It's
here?
May 10th,
Sometime
May 8th,
in May,
something like
usually
that.
second weekend. Or something.
You know what? None of us in here are mothers, so we really don't know. It's the 8th. There we go. We're getting that from the peanut gallery.
There we go.
All the way from the green room. He told us the date. So yeah, they're planning on this to have legs.
Have we
Past
run
Civil War?
Yeah.
I guess it's counter programming.
I guess.
Have we run out of sexy things for Aniston to do? Because there's no reason
Not
she
in my mind.
should be playing a mom yet.
I know.
Yeah, I thought that was
Right?
weird.
I know.
And also, you know, sadly, we know way too much about these people.
Yeah.
But, you know, she and Brad Pitt, he's the one who wanted 10 kids. Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
She's the one who never wanted them. But now she has to be a mom in a movie. So I wonder how believable she's going to be.
See, but in all fairness, Brad never said you could just buy the kids.
Oh,
I think
she had
Jennifer
known
was.
that.
Yeah, I think she was
Yeah.
worried about ruining her, her junk.
Yeah.
Stretching it
Yeah.
out with 10 kids. She's like, wait a minute, we can just pick them up next door.
Yeah, if she
Oh,
had known that,
sign
she'd
me
been
up.
like,
Just
go
go
to
to-
Key and pick up a kid.
Yeah, just go to Manibia or whatever. and pick up a
You
kid.
don't even
Malauzi,
learn
yeah.
all their names. You just they just run around. You just call them.
And there's a scene in there where Kate Hudson and Jennifer are trying to act like they don't know what Twitter is. It's hilarious.
yeah, stuff like that's
Like they don't
weird.
know what Facebook and social media is.
right?
So like, yeah, there's like, tweet at me. I don't know what that means. That doesn't sound right.
You know why? Probably because Gary Marshall doesn't know what that stuff is. So he's like, I don't know. That's comedy. I like it.
That sounds right.
I got a feeling there's a lesbian thing going on with Kate Hudson. Are
wondered
you
about
getting
that.
that?
Like
Yeah.
in general or in the movie?
No, in the movie.
Parents show up.
Because the
and they're
parents
like-
show up.
Because I've had that fantasy, and I was hoping you were right.
I hope
You've had
it
that
is.
fantasy, and you've run out of things for Jennifer Aniston to do? Because I haven't.
No,
Did you not watch Jennifer Aniston douse herself down with water and what was
We're the Millers.
We're the Millers.
Oh, and this has Jason
Fantastic.
Sudeikis. Maybe it'll happen again.
Oh, I hope so.
So you were saying,
I was just saying that
Lesbian
I
thing.
got a lesbian thing going, and that's fine with me because I would like to actually see it go that direction. That'd be kind of cool.
They're mothers like anybody else.
Mm.
Did you just say I got a lesbian thing going?
I
Could you pull that for a clip for something? I mean,
I'll write that down. I'm going to pretend it's the 80s. I'm going to cart that.
I've also had that fantasy, Karen.
Thank you.
I've also
Thanks
had
a
that
lot.
fantasy.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good to know. I
start
also
saying cart that. That's
heard that. I also feel like Julie Roberts. I love Julie Roberts. Always have loved Julie Roberts. I don't know why.
You don't in this movie.
Well,
No, immediately,
why
right?
has she given up trying to be cute and hot? Why has she gone right to I just have to look ugly and wear Mal Flanders hair?
Where's my flaws theme?
Why
'Cause
did she
Julia
just give
Roberts
up?
has never been attractive.
Oh,
Got these tiny little corn teeth.
oh, giant teeth. What do you mean tiny teeth?
No grace.
Giant teeth.
Big mouth, tiny teeth.
Oh Lord.
No grace.
Hurricane
Clumps,
goals.
clumps around like a Clydesdale. Yeah. Watch the final scene, or one of the final scenes in Ocean's 11 where she's walking through. First, not the final scene. The one scene where she's introduced. He's like, "This is the best day. This is the best moment of my life or my day." Matt Damon's like, "This is the best moment of my day." And here comes the Clydesdale, Julia Roberts, clump, 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 clump.
Unbelievable.
She's a pretty woman.
I'm getting some
She
acknowledgement.
starred in
some-
Pretty
I don't know what you're
Woman.
getting. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
I
going on.
And we
just
found out
feel
in
like-
Pretty Woman that it was all a stunt body, right? It was all body double in that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I rest
you
my case.
Floss
probably
has gone
found
on
that out.
so long, I've got to the out to sea theme
Yeah.
from the movie.
There also, Julia Roberts is playing. She always plays very harsh characters lately instead of fun and
Oh
likable.
yeah, wasn't she
August-
evil queen or
August
something?
Osage County, Mirror,
Yeah.
Mirror. Yeah, she's
Is she
sure.
good at that though? I mean, I love seeing people find like a new type.
She
for
was great in
themselves.
August Osage.
Along with Margot
But-
Martindale, who is also in this movie, who will be great again.
Yeah.
I have a feeling.
Was she the young girl?
She's the grandma, the one who visits Kate Hudson, yelling at her husband.
Oh, yeah.
She'll be great.
Yeah.
She'll be awesome.
Because Doris Roberts is dead. Otherwise, she would be doing it, right? Because that would be the greatest.
Dude, they probably had it in the can when Doris was still
Oh,
here.
okay.
Jason Sudeikis is always good.
He's going to be fantastic. Oh, he's so likable and adorable, and he has like a super hot wife in real life, doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
Who?
What,
Olivia
who's
Wilde?
Olivia
Wilde.
Wilde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bart, what's wrong with Olivia Wilde?
She's married to Jason Sudeikis.
And before we leave this movie, quick shout out to Kevin Blake in front of the show, Sean O'Brien. Who
Yeah,
was here
movie
a few
guys
weeks
bump right
ago
there, guys.
For London Has Fallen. He's now in this film as well. But let's get on to our next film.
All right.
It is Ratchet and Clank, a film coming out that no doubt already has a big fan base. Here, let's listen to a clip.
Hello and welcome to Car Talk from National Public Radio with us, Click and Clack,
Wait,
the
that's
Tappet Brothers.
Click and Clack.
Click
That's different.
I got it.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
I am so
Ratchet-
sorry. I didn't think of that.
I thought of it, and I said, Paul, you got to do this one for Bart. Isn't that
Ratchet and
fun?
Clank.
Yeah.
That's different.
That's
different.
different.
Isn't ratchet a word? We'll get to this later.
is.
Ratchet it up.
It is based on the popular reason your roommate won't get out of the house and look for a job. The video game Ratchet and Clank makes its jump to the big screen and the growing list of things I've heard of.
Something tells me Ratchet and Clank stands for hijinks and shenanigans.
Let's do this. Ever wonder what the backstory is to that video game character you've never heard of? No? Well, then this movie might not be for you. That and if you're more than 11 years old.
The Ratchet in Ratchet and Clank is the name of the Lombax, an alien life form, or Alf, I guess, of some sort.
Where do you keep your casserole dishes?
Why?
The cat won't fit in the toaster.
Okay, that's funny.
It's because it was Alf. It's
Alf's
funny.
Awesome.
It's hilarious.
Alan played Alf.
funny.
We'll have to ask Alan if he played Alf.
Always.
it's funny.
You might know Alf.
Again, it's
now.
a big IMDb.
Oh, okay.
Ratchet tries to join the Avengers of his world, the Galactic Rangers. They reject him, sending him into the arms of a robot named Clank, the classic level-headed best friend character and perfect merchandising tool, who's trying to tell the Galactic Rangers about an unstoppable evil.
Evil. Always with the not stopping. You
The
know?
evil, it ain't stopping.
It should just stop with all this nonstop not stopping.
Stop. That's the Galactic Rangers, not to be confused with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians actually protect the galaxy, whereas Rangers just make sure that teenagers aren't making out and drinking beer in the park after dark.
The galaxy needs saving again, this time from Chairman Drek. Apparently, the shareholders aren't happy with the returns on their dividends.
Really? How many times must our world be saved? Have we learned nothing from Terminator 2, Armageddon, Outbreak, Superman, The Omen, X-Men The Last Stand, V for Vendetta, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Ghostbusters, and every James Bond movie from the last 50-plus years? Apparently not.
We haven't seen this much excitement about someone teaming up with a robot since Holmes and Yo-Yo.
We call him Yo-Yo. He weighs 427 pounds. He's a completely mobile computer, specially programmed for police work.
Is he indestructible?
We think so.
Send in Holmes.
Holy crap.
Loved that show.
I've ever heard.
Just heard of that show.
I know, right?
Never heard
Really?
of that.
I loved Holmes and Yo-Yo.
No way.
Yes.
You're making it. You could absolutely be making fun of me right now.
No.
Having everyone agree that that was a show.
No, Holmes and Yo-Yo. Yes,
Cop and Robot Cop.
it was right around 10 Speed and Brown Shoe.
That's the other one that you said, and I'm like, you're making this up. I went to YouTube, but here's the thing.
Play the full theme underneath whatever you're saying.
Oh
Go
my
ahead.
God. I can't prove this show actually existed until you brought it into my reality right now. That's the thing about the world we live in.
Is Yo-Yo the
robot?
computer?
Yeah.
You're not a
Oh,
person.
and it must look like a Wonder Woman TV show robot, right? Yeah, that's God.
It's a guy. He's got a little thing that falls down. It's got some.
Yeah, it's
Jolly
under his
Rancher
tie.
buttons. Jolly Rancher buttons, right? Little light up Jolly Ranchers.
It's under his tie.
He's got a Darth Vader under his shirt. That's it. Yeah. This is the origin. But back to Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, anyway, that's okay.
This is the origin story of a video game. So I'm guessing it's about underpaid 20-somethings designing the game, slave labor in Southeast Asia animating the game, and the company that makes millions off of it, while Tipper Gore organizes a boycott.
Pop culture reference.
We get one of those every show.
We should refer to like just constantly like turn our references into Oliver or like Tipper Gore and who was the Fawn Hall Oliver North. Okay, just who do I look like? Oliver North? Just out of nowhere.
Quick, get to your Judge Bork joke.
Yeah, exactly. Boasting the voice talents of Paul Giamatti, John Goodman, Rosario Dawson, and Sylvester Stallone, 4 always welcome talents. Movies never start sucking when any of these people show up.
I was beginning to worry that we might have to go a whole 10 minutes without another kids movie coming out. Well, fear not. The decade of coddling children continues with yet another movie for kids. You know, when I was a young boy, there was maybe one movie a year for kids.
And that's the way it was, and we liked it.
However, the movie's poster slogan, "Kick Some Asteroid," will leave some parents in the uncomfortable position of having to explain this joke to their young'uns without teaching them actual curse words.
And it will leave real gamers in the uncomfortable position of wondering how quickly Hardcore Henry comes out in virtual reality 4D.
Oh, now, is this based on a video game? Because I don't remember it having its own Saturday morning cartoon.
Then you gotta be my Frogger. You gotta be my
Frogger.
I don't wanna be with you.
You don't remember that? You remember this one, don't you?
I remember that. Yes.
How about this?
You and me and Cubert.
Isn't that
yeah.
crazy? They ran all those like in a block of,
And this is Ratchet Clank. No doubt going to follow the same path.
It just makes me think I should go watch Wreck-It Ralph again. That's all this does.
Paul, I've noticed that under the heading discussion, there's several bullet points. One of them is more Holmes and Yo-Yo. Can we skip directly to that?
Oh, I was playing it earlier, but you can't have too much of it, really.
Yeah, that was one of my Friday night must-see viewings when I was a kid. Holmes and Yo-Yo.
That is, I've never heard of that.
Never?
It very well could have just started existing right now.
Me neither.
Who brought this joke in?
No, don't.
Steve Scholl.
Oh, okay.
You're not a person.
You're not going to tell them?
In my book, you got the makings of a good cop. That's what I put in my report.
I gotta put my
They're
report.
friends.
I think technology will reach an actual height when we're able to make 70s TV again. Like, if we could just create that right now, looking exactly like that, with exactly the nostalgia, and go, oh, I love this, and I'm going to watch all
We're
of them
making
on
Nice
Hulu.
Guys in a few
Dude,
weeks.
we the Boubet sisters want to make something, and we want it to be all that. We want that
Right?
music. We
Oh,
want
no.
to fight crime. We want to fly poorly. All of it.
Yes. Well, if Shields and Yarnell could have a show, which is insane.
Right.
That's how much we didn't know how to entertain ourselves
Yep.
in the 70s. It's
I don't know.
Shields and Yarnell were mimes, right?
Yeah.
They would imitate
Mm-hmm.
that they didn't
and
have things.
They were robots. They're trying to accomplish things.
They would do a little.
Having trouble overcoming it.
Yeah.
Roll credits.
And we had to put a robot in Wonder Woman, like Rocky IV, like that. Well, I'd have a robot.
Yeah.
And the
Rocky
worst
never
robot
fought
you've
a
ever
robot,
seen.
did he? Yeah.
Do you remember Moominshants?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Moominshants.
But then in your Real Steel, it was all robots fighting. So
Oh.
now we've arrived where in your play,
We are-
your toy box.
Yeah, we are through the looking glass.
Okay.
So anyway, this is
Robot
ADD
Wars.
captured on film. All right. Our next film is called Keanu. From the minds of Key and Peele comes the comedy duo's big jump to the big screen. The very first movie from the comedy team that has come to define their generation. So it's either Key and Peele's The Jerk or Key and Peele's Clean Slate.
Now, Detective M.L. Pogue has to figure out what's up with his friends.
Okay.
That's the plot.
Bart,
What's up with his friend?
Bart, let's talk about it. Here we go.
Nobody does two white guys trapped in a black man's world better than Key and Peele.
One beer, please.
I'll take a white wine spritzer.
Clarence.
What? You can't talk like that.
Here.
Then we really are in trouble because you sound like John Ritter all the time.
Keanu, port of call Cool Breeze, is the first of what we hope will be many movies from Keegan-Michael Key and Jordan Peele. This movie is a John Wick-inspired action thriller comedy, or acthrocom, as we here at the Movie Guys are calling it.
No, we're not.
Phew, good. That was hard to say and kind of stupid.
Rel Williams, played by Jordan Peele, is upset at the loss of his girlfriend, but he's lifted out of his depression the way America is, by looking at kittens.
Yeah.
Rel adopts a stray kitten and names him Keanu. Unfortunately, soon after acquiring his new pet, his apartment is broken into and Keanu is stolen, and there will be hell to pay.
Cheddar's got Keanu. We in the market right now for like a gangster pet. You serious?
Keanu!
Kitty, kitty!
Now, if you've never heard of Key and Peele,
my
it's
God.
possible that you haven't seen President Obama with his anger translator, Luther.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. With me, as always, is my anger translator, Luther.
Boom, man! I sunk your battleship, bitch! What's up?
The movie couldn't be in better hands. Not only Key and Peele, but the writers, who sound like they're big fans of action.
The Oscar goes to Liam Neeson's Darkman. Nigga's face was changing. How hard is that? It ain't hard, dog. It's not hard at all. Damn, it's stupid, man. Ops. Battleship?
All right. Rumor has it Key and Peele met them while the writers were working as hotel valets.
It seems like a no-brainer to bring a Key and Peele movie to the screen, but there were risks involved. Reports confirmed that there were 7 different kittens playing Keanu in this film. That's 63 lives right there. Just think of the insurance costs on that film.
Yes, they used actual cats and not CGI, once again putting all the Andy Serkises of the world out of work.
Boo.
Well, it's actually pretty much just him. So putting Andy Serkis out of work, at least until next month's Angry Birds movie.
The old adage in Hollywood is, you should never work with pets or kids unless you are already a pet, in which case it makes perfect sense that the original and red band trailers for Keanu would get remade with an all-cat trailer.
Yeah, we in the right place, nigga!
Is that real?
No. Oh. Did they make an all-cat trailer? No.
Yes, they did.
They did?
Yes, there are... What? You did... This is...
Oh,
no.
really?
Yes, they did.
No, I wasn't aware of
You didn't realize? Yeah,
No.
there's a trailer. If you go to IMDb...
It's all cats?
It's just cats. They redo every scene with cats.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
That
Here,
is
I thought they were
amazing.
just covering up the N-word with a meow.
Okay.
Yeah, we in the right place, nigga!
Okay. Well, now, were you making up Yo-Yo and...
Holmes and Yo-Yo is also true.
All right, all right.
Adam's like, I just am not sure. I'm so suspicious.
I don't know what to believe right now.
I can't believe
If
it.
you don't think Key and Peele are geniuses, there's a cute kitten dressed like a gangster on the poster. Have you seen the ratings cats are getting on the internet? Why has nobody thought of this?
Yeah.
If you notice, the writing credits of the screenplay do not include Keegan-Michael Key's name. Apparently, it was written by Jordan Peele and Alex Rubin. So, based on the success of this movie, we're going to find out just who is the funnier one.
Ooh.
Good to know. Yeah, very sleuthy of you.
Hi.
But yes, there is an all-kitten version of this trailer.
Hilarious.
And,
That's
and it's the one that's actually on the IMDb page. And as a matter of fact, there's a red band version of it and a regular green band version of it. And it's a little frustrating because there's not a lot of trailers for this movie. And when I saw that there were 3, 2 of them are cats.
That's hilarious.
I started hearing some things about this movie. They are keeping a bunch of jokes quiet. I did hear that eventually the cat does talk during a drug trip sequence of some sort, which isn't referred to in any way. And I've heard it's there's a great person doing the voice. I don't know if I should spoil it, but yeah, I won't. It's a good call though.
Yeah, that Liam Neeson sketch. How funny is that?
They're so good. I mean, I think we can call them friends of the show because I knew them back in Chicago.
I shook Keegan's hand once.
Yeah, I think we've seen them in
we met
shows
him.
All right,
and
well,
stuff.
get him in here.
Yeah, I know, right?
Call your buddy Keegan.
That's not happening. That's not happening. But anyway, but they're so good. They're so amazing.
I have
Do
had...
they? Oh, that's cool.
I have
Vanessa
heard...
Whitney's in studio, former
Yeah.
guest of the show and friend of the movie show.
Well, she had all kinds of celebrity stories too. About,
Yeah, apparently she's working.
Just hanging out with John Fogerty, no big deal. Key and Peele, yeah, just
No big deal.
hanging out over there.
No, I have heard that some of the reviews on this movie aren't most glowing.
That's from people who like dogs. That's
Overall,
all that
they're
is.
3/4, like 3/4 are good. But
Yeah.
I heard a bad one out of South by Southwest, but I don't care. I don't laugh.
What do hipster doofuses know about movies, right?
That's right. It's not their forte.
Yeah,
really.
there was not enough hemp in it.
You got the food trucks. No, you got the food trucks, and you got the craft cocktails. Big contributions to Western civilization for the last 10 years, I think.
And upright bass and all music.
They've given us round ice cubes. Well done, hipsters.
What was the question?
This movie's going to be great.
Yeah, that's gonna be great.
So let's get on to our final film of the week. It's Green Room. Oh, please be a documentary about Barbara Streisand throwing a fit backstage at a Broadway show.
Gentlemen, you're trapped. Things have gone south. It won't end well.
Okay, well, it might have been Barbara, but I don't think it was. But
No,
it
no,
still
no.
sounds pretty interesting, whatever it is. Adam, let's talk about it. Here we go.
The green room helps you to believe in the world you are creating.
What?
To make
I think that's a show Karen was in.
That's not me singing, though.
That's not Karen singing, though. I think this is really what it's about. Oh, yeah! Green Room! Green Room is also not the story of all the salacious sexual encounters Joe Franklin had with his guests during his long-running talk show. No, this is the much less grotesque story of a diabolical club owner who decides to hold hostage and torture an unknown punk rock band after they inadvertently witness a murder.
When a punk rock band called The Ain't Rights stumble into a murder scene after one of their shows in an isolated, rundown bar in the backwoods of Oregon, I mean, you've never seen a podunk club this far from civilization, unless you've done children's theater.
Absolutely.
Oh, wait. Hold on a
Been
second.
there.
You know, I think I see where things go wrong right there. Has anything ever not ended horribly in the backwoods of anywhere?
Ooh.
Not the best part of the woods.
okay.
The back part. Stay away
stay
from
in the
there.
front part.
Front woods. That's fine. Front
Okay,
yard,
I'm so
whatever.
sorry about that. That has got to be one of the most disturbing scenes in movie history. Let's take a moment to try and get that thought out of our heads.
Right here lives a happy little cloud, and I'm still using the same color that the sky was. Just drop in a little cloud. Just sort of let it float around and have fun. Clouds are one of the freest things in nature.
That should do it.
That really
Thank you,
does
Paul.
make you
Wow.
feel better.
I'm ready to take on the day.
Seriously? I should wake up to that.
I could too.
As we were saying, once in the green room, which is like a dressing room without all the self-respect, the Ain't Rights are held hostage by a diabolical club owner. In fact, you've never seen a club owner so diabolical unless you've tried to get paid by a club owner.
Right?
That club owner is played by Patrick Stewart.
I swear, she helped me up.
Well, how did she look?
Well, I don't know. She was walking. She looked great.
Oh, please, she's had work done.
Without a Geraldo to
That
moderate...
may not have been from this movie.
That may, is
that
that
would've
not?
been nice.
Okay. All right. Without a Geraldo to moderate the situation, the club owner decides that the band must be eliminated.
Oh, why can't this happen to an EDM DJ?
Yeah.
Sure, they might be a punk rock band, but they do care about something, and that something is living. The band members fight murder with murder in an effort to stay alive. Ugh, kids today, it's always me, you know?
Get ready to see Patrick Stewart in a whole new light. Not since Sean Connery in Finding Forrester as a bald man with a British-sounding accent been so terrifying.
You're the man now, dog.
This movie knows where to put its seething, calmly disconcerting, droll evil in the mouth of Patrick Stewart, who everybody loves, no matter what he's playing. In this movie, his character's name is Darcy, and you still fear him.
No movie about a good guy without a good bad guy can be all that good. This is the Hans Gruber constant. How good is Bruce Willis in Die Hard? We will never know.
The film also stars Anton Yelchin and Imogen Poots. Excuse me, I had Mexican for lunch.
Imogen Poots.
Oh, that was well said. This movie is fast getting a reputation for being rather gruesome. Let the disembowelment begin! Actually, that is the title of one of their songs.
But also, a lot of guts are spilled on both sides as the band proves that their music isn't the only thing that can make you bleed from your ears.
Does it really come to that? Here's how you defeat the redneck skinheads. Challenge them to a spelling bee.
Well, they'll have to come together as a band in order to escape the clutches of the evil Dr. Clutches.
I've already established his name is Darcy.
I'm going to go with the evil Dr. Clutches.
You've seen Star Trek The Next Generation?
I haven't, no.
Well, your wife won't let you have it on, has she?
I'm not married.
Your girlfriend, then?
I haven't got a girlfriend. I live alone.
You're not married, you haven't got a girlfriend, and you've never watched Star Trek.
Oh, that's it. That's the movie. All right. We reviewed it on themovieguys.net, so you can go there and read a review, because it did come out 2 weeks ago. But very
Ray
limited.
Scalacci watch it?
Ray Scalacci. It's a horror movie.
I know, right?
So Ray watched.
He's so on top of that. So what did he think?
Oh, he loved it.
Oh,
He said it is gruesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go to all extremes to try and get out of there, and
Yeah.
the bad guys go to the similar extremes to try and keep them contained.
I watched the trailer and I did not realize until right now that was Patrick Stewart.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
he did. It was tough to It was either that or Ben Kingsley, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I would think it would be more Ben Kingsley.
Which is so interesting because you feel like you've seen Patrick Stewart do something like this before, like, and maybe it's
Conspiracy
I have
theory?
seen.
Well, it's because you're
Is he?
thinking.
That was
Oh,
close.
yeah.
Yeah, he was a bad guy.
Well, you're
in that.
thinking of Ben Kingsley.
I know. I think you're right. I think you just solved that.
Thinking of Sexy
I think
Beast.
so.
Yeah, Sexy Beast, exactly. And Eric Edelstein.
I think they're playing at the Edelstein Ballston Center for
the guy who plays Big Justin. Was in Always Worthy. We had that guest in
Ian Gomez is.
Yeah, and along with Ian and a couple of other the actors in Always Worthy, that guy really stood out. You're like, this guy should be doing other stuff. He should be moving on, and immediately he's in this movie. Yeah. And he plays a good heavy. He plays like a,
He's a big dude.
Kubiak,
I could
yeah.
see that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, this is a good reason in an election year for us to tell you, support the arts. If you do, then these bands won't have to take these crappy gigs, and then they won't get stuck in a green room with skinheads trying to kill them.
That's really good.
I mean,
the more you know, Paul.
It's a punk band. Who do you root for in this one? You know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
the punk band,
of course.
And in the background of their the venue that they go to, there's a Confederate flag hanging, and I certainly hope that this movie doesn't do anything to tarnish the good impression we have of the Confederate flag. What's it doing up in Oregon?
I was just gonna say it's a little far north, isn't it?
Yeah.
You haven't noticed that the rednecks are everywhere. You can find you can find that flag.
I went 2 hours
all
south
over
of
the place.
I went 2 hours south of Chicago. I was in the south.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you are.
I think I know where the wall should go.
Yeah. Like what Robin Williams called it, the Manson-Nixon line, creeping up. It's creeping further north every day. All right, that's enough of these new movies. Let's get our guest in here, Allan Trautman. He's worked on a lot of films you know and love, so there's much to discuss, and we'll do that right after 10 seconds of break. We'll be back. We're back.
Hello.
Look at the happy trees
Bob Rose.
and all the happy clouds.
Our guest is here also, who's been involved with movies and TV shows for 30 years.
Let's say 15. Make the guy
Started as
younger.
a young boy.
more.
Whoa, so he's not afraid? Why? He's got a ton of experience. We're excited to talk all about it. Acting in films such as Intolerable Cruelty and Monkey Bone, and working as a puppeteer on many other projects with, among other entities, the Jim Henson Company, the granddaddy of puppet companies, of course. Projects there and elsewhere with puppets include Dr. Dolittle with Eddie Murphy, The Country Bears, Cats and Dogs, The Flintstones, Viva Rock Vegas, and more. Allan Trautman, everybody!
Yay! Oh, wait, that's me.
Wow. Yourself.
There's a lot more people in here all of a sudden.
Yay!
The Country Bears with Christopher Walken's.
That's right.
With Christopher
his bunny
Walken,
slippers.
Yeah.
Which came out, and then they closed
They
the
closed the
ride.
attraction.
Like
Yeah.
right before they came out at Disney.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that
it made
was
no
pretty
sense
strange.
whatsoever.
No.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you got the movie now. What do you need the ride for?
Yeah. But it's still down in fact, Karen and I
We had
just
so
came
much
back.
fun watching it. It was really good.
We just came back from Florida, and it was seeing the old rides they don't have here anymore. We saw Muppet Vision 3D,
That was
which
cool.
you worked on.
That was the first thing I ever did with the Henson.
What did
Company.
you do on that?
Well, that was, you remember the big finale? There was like millions of characters running around. So they needed a lot of people for that. And they had done most of their work in London and New York before this. This was being done in L.A., so they didn't have like big, huge numbers of people. So they actually held auditions. So
Alan, were you an extra? Because if this is where the story's going,
an extra puppet.
They needed a lot of people.
Well, yeah, basically, when you're just starting out with the Hensons, you're happy to do whatever, whatever they ask you to do. So that was my but I had been a puppeteer, professionally for.
Were you one of the
10,
nation, the
15
flag
I
wavers?
was just going to say, were you one of the flag wavers?
The trombone player,
Wow.
the soldier, all those crazy people running around at the end.
And what does the bird say?
A tribute to all nations, but mostly America.
Mostly
Sam the Eagle?
Sam the Eagle.
It's so good.
Is there no decency?
So you can still see that when you go to Disney World in Orlando. You can
It
still
really
see
held
that.
up.
Cool.
It's
great.
totally
Yeah.
held up
So
every time I
funny.
saw it. After
Jokes
that.
are classic, as is the Muppet way.
Yeah,
Right?
it's just throwing stupid stuff at the camera. It's
Anytime
like,
you
how-
blow up the theater, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, spoiler alert, but the whole theater gets. I mean,
Right?
you expect nothing less from the
No.
Muppets, and they deliver on that respect. In that
Yeah.
respect, which is nice. But let's start. Actually, that was jumping back. Let's go sticking with Disney. you're in the Jungle Book. Well, you're involved in the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
There's only one guy who's in the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
And that's Neil Sethi, the lead actor. Everything else is done with computers. Now, how do you work yourself into the fold?
The fact is, Jon Favreau, the director, didn't want Neil just talking to eyeballs, or X's on blue screens or tennis balls or anything like that. He wanted to get some real interaction because there's just no substitute, especially for a child actor. He's had no experience in front of the camera before, so he decided to bring in Henson Puppeteers, who he had. We had actually met him when we did our first public performance of Puppet Up
cool.
at the Aspen Comedy Festival in, what the heck was it, 2006 or something like that. And he came to see it. And I remember him coming up to us after the show and he said, well, I've seen a lot of improv, and sometimes those improv actors are just kind of, cheesy one note, but the puppets, they're good actors.
Yeah.
So he came in and actually.
I'm sorry, this was Jon Favreau?
Yeah.
He's in charge of the entire movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was this puppet improv?
Oh, yeah. We should explain that because
Because
that's really important.
Because, Favreau was an improviser from Chicago back in
Right,
the day.
exactly. So, in fact, he came in and did a little workshop with us and everything. But so it was his idea to bring puppeteers in who could be Neil's acting partners, essentially.
Very
So we had a couple of specially built puppets, one for Bagheera and one for Baloo. And then everything else was just either little eyeballs on fingers or other little puppets that we brought in, little woodland creatures and things like that. But we were encouraged to improvise, to do whatever it took to help Neil, get the reactions that we wanted to from him.
Which is really cool. So you were directed by Favreau as much as the whole time.
Sure,
kinda,
we
when
were
you
treated just like any other character. We were the characters on the set. So I performed Bagheera, and I did Shere Khan, which is like
Love her music. Shere Khan.
But all of it was just so much fun. I mean, how often do you get to do like a
Right.
big Disney villain, on a set like that?
And you were actually doing the lines?
Yeah, we would, for the most part, we would do all the dialogue because if they played the track, Neil would naturally just look over at the speakers. It's like,
right.
I mean,
Kids are stupid that way.
No,
Where's
but-
that coming from?
But after a while, we got a connection going, and we had a good time together, and he got used to working with us. It got to a point where, for a lot of the time, we weren't even using puppets. After a while, he was just like looking at us, and it was like we were just doing the scenes with him.
Well, you kind of look like Baloo. Just a little, so I can see
Baloo
that.
was Artie Esposito.
Yeah, the other one with Bagheera, is that the panther?
Bagheera,
is that Ben
that's
Kingsley?
the panther, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's interesting because Favreau is a very famous, is a legendary improvisational director, and obviously his collaborative work with Robert Downey Jr. is like so freeformed and stuff. Now, this has got a little more of a classic story. Were you able to do anything besides the script in some
you
ways?
should
or just
improvise,
sort
but how
of,
much leeway do you have?
Well, we could do whatever we
It's more
want
just
because
emotions,
we're
yeah.
not ending up on camera.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about getting the reaction from Neil. And we knew what the scene was. We didn't go too far from it. It's not like we went off and started doing routines.
But you could do something outrageous, and of course the final voice performance wouldn't, to make him either more surprised.
Exactly.
Or, yeah, okay.
You know, if you
That's
listen,
kinda cool.
we had the tracks originally. They had already recorded their parts. But, you know, if you just listen to the track, it's very low-key, very dry.
Yeah.
You know, Ben Kingsley's talking like that.
Yeah.
And if you just do everything like that, you know, Neil's just going to be, can't even hear you. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So I realized quickly that, you know, I can't just, you know, copy Ben Kingsley's performance. It's like we have to create something real in front of the camera right here. And it was a tremendous amount of fun to be able to do that. You know?
I would say that when I grew up, a kid could be the death of a movie.
Yeah.
Scorpion King was fun. Then as a little kid comes involved. Schwarzenegger gets saddled with a kid in Last Action Hero. Granted, he's the reason for the whole movie happening, but still not the best part of the movie.
That annoying kid with that haircut.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Nowadays, man, child actors are, from Tom Holland in the Impossible. Is that what it was? The one with the
Spider-Man?
Yeah, he was in the movie with Naomi Watts with the
tsunami.
Yeah, the tsunami hits.
Yeah.
He's amazing in that.
Yeah.
The kids from Moonrise Kingdom, the girl from Beasts of the Southern Wild,
Yeah.
Kavenzane Wallace, and this kid last year from not Beast of the Wild, the other one with Idris Elba, Beast of No Nation.
Beast of No Nation.
That kid, Abraham Atta, amazing. Neil Sethi is great in this movie, and so you guys should be proud of yourselves for helping bring out this great performance. Because considering he's working with nothing, and I know there's plenty. I mean, he's not say I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're going to say, wait a minute,
it wasn't.
But, yeah,
I can't totally take credit
exactly.
for everything there.
But knowing that because I was telling you this before the movie, when you look at the movie, you're like, how is this not shot in Hawaii?
Yeah.
And then they just added animals,
right?
Especially because you say with no experience to work in such a technically heavy environment, I'm super impressed.
Well, I also give a lot of credit to John because he's obviously an actor's director. So he knows how to get a performance out of somebody. He knows what to say. He knows how much to say, how little to say. He never tried to push Neil when he wasn't ready for something. If it led to, because if you try and get somebody to do something that's not really in their bones, it just comes out sounding false. And you can tell immediately. So John was really great that way, working with him, and he was just really smart to cast this kid who just was all elbows and knees, and really had the spirit of that character from the cartoon.
And we talked about this just a few weeks ago. I can't remember what the movie was, but you can tell when a kid is acting like a kid, or when a kid is being himself.
Yes.
That's why no experience is probably great. Really,
Yeah.
You can craft that because kids, if you put a kid in a white room, a green room, a blue room, it doesn't matter, and go, there's a thing there. Like kids will be like, okay, but it's adults that be like, no, there's not. It's just a green screen. What are you talking about?
Can I get my line?
Yeah. Well, there's like the scene where they're walking in the tall grass, and Bagheera or Shere Khan jumps out and scares them. John worked quite a bit to try and get a real scare out of him, to the point where he finally, and I think this is the one that ended up on camera, ended up in the film, where John himself just snuck around during the take without telling him, and at the right moment, he just literally jumped up and screamed in his ear out of nowhere. And Neil was like, "Ah!" And it was like a perfect reaction.
Yeah.
Were you decked out in all the green?
I was in. Well, it was blue. It was mostly blue screen. So I was like in this beautiful blue spandex outfit.
Lovely,
and,
love it.
And there were three of us. It was like the Blue Man Group, and we. After a while, they were shooting some like B-roll, and one of us was like tossing a ball around with Neil or something, and they were photographing it. And it was all of a sudden somebody says, that spandex is awfully revealing on these guys.
Did any of you have dance belts on?
Well, the solution they came up with was athletic cups.
Oh, yeah.
Which
Okay.
are bigger than...
That's like wearing a codpiece.
Hello. Yeah.
So I took one look at that and said, I think I'll just get like a couple of sizes too big for the spandex, and then I'll be safe.
You could have just removed the beer can from your pants.
can't do
I'm sorry. Is
that.
this noticeable? Sorry.
Shakira might show up.
Yeah.
What's her name?
There's something a little, you can pat yourself on the back for getting that note, right?
Hey, can I have one of those Tums, please?
So you've seen the progress of things go from puppets to digital to kind of back to puppets in a weird. I feel like we.
Yeah. When we would do a movie like, we did a TV series like Dinosaurs or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first one, which was all animatronic heads. Yeah. It was all real in the can.
Dinosaurs was a great show.
It was a great show. Today is the 25th anniversary of the premiere of Dinosaurs.
Oh, it's great. It's on Netflix right now, too. If anybody in the audience hasn't seen it, I mean, that's a very watchable. Throw it on in the background. Like, there's just a bunch of good lines. Yeah,
it was.
Now, I watched your demo
show.
reel. So, were you the female?
Yeah, I was
you were the
mom. I was the mom,
Okay.
Fran. I did her face, all the animatronics on her face, and on the set we would do all the dialogue, and we would work out all the business, and then the voice performers would come in afterwards and loop it. There were a lot of other characters that were on the show also, little day players, all the hand puppets that came in. And so we would do a lot of those characters also, but it was a tremendous experience. But while we were shooting Dinosaurs, I remember we had like a half a day where we weren't going to do anything, and we were at CBS Radford, and Jurassic Park had just opened, and it was playing over at the Universal City. We said, let's go watch it. And we went over there and we looked at it, and it was like so depressing. It's like, oh my God, that's it. We're out of a job now. That's the writing on the wall right
however,
there.
The T-Rex and the Raptors, not as funny.
Not as funny. No, they didn't get as many laughs.
So what constitutes a puppeteer anymore? It's not just left arm up somebody's and then right arm doing the thing, right? I mean, it's So clearly, it's more. What is that?
Well, it's puppeteers move inanimate objects in a way that makes it appear to be alive. Okay, that's the sort of the basic definition. And so there's a bit of like magic involved in it, where, and that's the great thing about, the Muppets, for example, which are all obviously not real.
Not even trying to not
They're
be.
You know they're ping pong balls and felt, and yet you meet it halfway and you imbue it with the life that is being, sort of breathed into it by the puppeteers. And then you have the other kinds of puppetry, the creature work, which really is designed to look like a real creature.
And something like Stan Winston, or is that
like with Stan Winston, or all the Men in Black movies,
right?
And we did the same thing on Dr. Dolittle, for example, which was right on the cusp of the digital effects. And so we were there the whole time for doing these animals. And as the movie progressed, we would work less and less. They realized how much they could do with the animals and how much they could do with us. And they would use us for things like over-the-shoulder shots. That was very useful. Where you couldn't get an animal to just sit there. And,
but in a classic technology move, CGI got way confident way too quick.
Yeah.
Like, we can do whole movies. Like, we can. That looks really bad. Like, there's that.
And then you get movies that are sort of in between, like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy had all those great. I think that was also the London Creature Shop that did that. They had all those great aliens, and you knew they were guys in suits with faces that were animatronic, but you sort of didn't care because it was just so outlandish and fun, and it was the
Hellboy
it was
movies kind of do that as well.
It was which was kind of surprising to me. It's like, wow, they fixed it up a little bit digitally, but it was basically a guy in a suit.
I for one hope we don't ever lose hand up back a thing, because I've been on record before here in this very studio as saying the funniest thing in the world is a limp-bodied Muppet flying through the air and crashing into the wall. I defy anyone not to just completely crack up at the sight of that.
Well, that's the other thing that having
do that CGI.
When you do it CGI also, you're not ever able to have a lot of spontaneity on the set. It's like everything's predetermined. It's like doing animation, But with puppeteers, the trouble is turning them off. They're always, fooling around, and in between takes are some of the funniest things that we do. And so we find ways of making it better. We find new things to do, and it adds value to the production in a way that you can't always do with CG work.
Yeah, I've noticed in this Ratchet and Clank trailer, or something like the scene where Qui-Gon Jinn and was Obi-Wan in that scene as well, at the dinner table with Anakin and his mother, and Jar Jar's there just stealing all the attention. And so between Ratchet and Clank and Jar Jar, they overact. And I rarely see that out of a puppet. So that you can get better acting out of a puppet.
Yeah,
most
well,
of the
there
time.
you go. John Favreau was right.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. There is some performance to puppetry, and that's the mistake they made with CGI early on. There is an artistry to carving a model, or the way they did all these amazing models and all this sort of stuff. There's a certain artistry that has grown up as a craft for so long on all those things, puppetry, everything. They threw all that out, and you go, and just to do everything in a computer with a guy that's never at that time was not quite an artist yet. He was a computer guy. So it's
the shiny new toy, or it was, and you can't, I don't blame anybody for trying.
Well, no, of
I don't have to like it, but I'm just happy that there was a period there for about 10 years when, especially on TV, you couldn't do puppets that weren't ironic. That were intended to be bad.
Yeah.
You would bring in puppets when you wanted it to like look really cheesy and stupid, and for God, that lasted about 10 years, and it was like, oh, do we have to do another one of these? But it seems to have flipped over again now, and it's you got the Muppet shows back on the air, and
now you worked on Muppets Tonight, which
I did.
thought was a hilarious show. So many great episodes of that show.
No, is that the one that is going around now with Prince? Was that Muppets Tonight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't bring up his death yet on the show
With the
'cause I
reggae
just don't wanna
puppet,
get
right?
so depressed.
Well,
But reggae
Yes.
puppet.
Yeah, reggae puppets in it. Yeah,
that was like the big new.
I just know that I've been watching a lot of Muppets Tonight because people keep putting up the Prince episode, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, go look for that one. It's right when he got
It's
the
so
he
charming.
changed his name to a symbol to get
Yep.
out of a
Right.
And the bear has, what is he, a bear? The guy, the security won't let him in.
Yeah,
Bobo.
That's Bobo.
Oh, I love
so
that bear.
good.
He's great.
He's
Yes.
great.
because he didn't have
hilarious.
ID. He's like, "What's your ID?
Yeah.
What's your name?" I was like, "I kind of don't have a name."
Who doesn't?
and Prince being so quiet and shy, and it was just so neat to see him working with the puppets.
Yeah.
That's a great show.
And I don't know if his performance of "She Gave Her Angels" is online anywhere, but where can you find that show in general?
Yeah.
Is that on Hulu? or any
Muppets
of these?
Tonight?
Yeah.
Boy, I don't know.
Man, that was a good
I
show.
don't know where that. I imagine it's on DVD somewhere on a shelf.
Oh, probably. Yeah, well, there was a whole episode where Sandra Bullock was the guest, and they had to keep
Oh,
the
yeah.
laughs coming at a certain speed, or the whole
Yes,
show would explode.
they did.
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
That was a fun one.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, did you just play a variety of characters there? Or
Yeah.
we just have some every week?
I was doing another show at the same time, so I did about half of the Muppets Tonight episodes when I wasn't working on what was the name of that show? Unhappily Ever After, which was the first show to air on the then new WB network, which doesn't exist anymore. Back in I think 95.
Folded into the CW.
Right. Yeah. So that was back in 95. So we had a great schedule. We were like 3 weeks on, 1 week off. So I'd always, on my weeks off, I would always be over at at Muppets Tonight. So it was fun.
Yeah, and elsewhere on your TV adventures, you worked Greg the Bunny.
I did a few episodes of that. Yeah. Nice. Again, I was really busy on Unhappily Ever After at that point.
Yeah, it's all around the same time, wasn't it?
Yeah. I was. Yeah. Yeah. It was a good period. It's always good to be busy.
Was there? So go ahead.
Something like that where you have to match Bob Goldthwait was the voice. of
Yeah.
Greg the
Yeah.
Bunny.
Yeah.
Do you match his?
No, that
voice?
was Unhappily Ever After.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
He was the voice of Mr.
dog.
Floppy.
Yeah.
Oh,
the dog.
okay. Well, who did Greg the Bunny? Was that Seth Green?
Yeah. Seth Green.
Okay. Either way, in those two shows, do you match the voice, or does the voice come for later?
Typically, we'll perform the voices at the on the set live with the puppets. It's the best way to get spontaneity. It's because we don't think of ourselves as voice performers or just manipulators of puppets. We perform characters, and the character consists of the puppet and the voice. And so we try to always work that way. That's the way we did it on Dinosaurs, and I think it was very successful. Everything was 80 yard afterwards. But there are some shows where you just want a celebrity, and I've done plenty of those also, where you just can't get your own voice on there, and they just want to bring in a celebrity. I understand that. You want to make money, and so with Unhappily Ever After with Bobcat, I knew from the get-go that I wouldn't be doing a voice on this, and I was like really worried. I'm signing a series deal here where I'm going to be stuffed under a couch, wagging this dolly around, and I didn't know if they were going to give me the time of day, or if they would care about anything I did other than just following Bobcat's voice. Turns out he only came in on shoot days on Friday. For a while, he did the table reads, and then came in for Friday when the audience was there. So I was there doing all the rehearsals, working, pitching new lines and creating stuff. And so, he came in, he would, if any of it worked, he would keep it. If he had some new ideas, he would throw them out. And after a few episodes, he performed it live. From the beginning, he performed it live in front of the audience. He wasn't visible. but we performed it simultaneously.
Oh,
wow.
So it wasn't pre-recorded. It wasn't done ADR.
You don't see him at all while you're doing this, too.
I don't see him. No, he's watching the monitor. I'm watching the monitor, and it didn't take long, but after a few episodes, we kind of got into each other's rhythms, and it was a matter of we were both following Mr. Floppy at that point. We kind of got his rhythms going, and then it sort of all worked.
Cool.
It got to the point where we could, do a line and got a big laugh, and we knew exactly how long to hold and come in with the next line, together. It was really, really
Mr.
cool.
Floppy really became the puppeteer, and you and Bob
controlled
were the
you
puppets,
guys.
right?
Kind of, yeah, very
You
deep.
get into that zone, man, and you really perform.
Who's got whose hand up? Who's in this case is what I'm asking.
Just wondering why.
Have we
so uncomfortable.
Have we segued into the segment where we write a Twilight Zone episode, or are we doing that at the end of the show? Okay,
the end of every show.
At the end of every show.
And then.
Did you have another Greg the Bunny thing? Or no?
I actually just had a thought. I thought for a second you guys were talking about, was there a morning show with a puppet at one time? I feel like I've seen clips of this.
The Great Space Coaster? Fox had a puppet on their Fox and Friends.
Right? Or no?
Yeah,
is
they
that
did.
what it is?
Yeah, they're like a monkey or something.
But what's that? Well, no.
Captain
This was
Kangaroo.
like two people morning show, like a Good Morning America.
Yeah, no, that was Fox and Friends.
Is it?
Yes.
And there was
Fox
a puppet
they
behind
had
the
a
couch.
freaking puppet behind
That's
the couch. Yes.
Wow, I don't.
Yes, this was
don't
back in
remember that.
1996.
Would he deliver
98.
news like about, Anwar
I'm
Sadat
sorry.
has been
Yep.
shot?
Are you
I mean,
guys talking about Donald Trump?
No. Holmes and Yo-Yo the Puppet. But no, yes, I remember that because I actually pitched my show to that show.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You should have had a puppet.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Wow.
Yes.
We should have a puppet on our show.
A
We-
robot
remember-
puppet.
Robot puppet. Patent pending.
We've done
Remember, we
regularly.
had Vanessa's friend on. He was
Yeah.
great.
Seymour, what was that? Was his name?
Lambert was here.
Lambert.
That was cool.
All right, we're getting a puppet sidekick.
Never
You guys are in
visited
charge of this. We're gonna make this happen.
You're in charge of this.
Regular. Now we're gonna have a regular. Well, speaking of Vanessa, and Vanessa performs with you on this Puppet Up. We talked
Yes.
about that
Yeah,
for
yeah.
a second, but Karen and I saw this show a long time ago.
Oh.
Probably in its early stages.
Yeah, we saw it down
at the Grove.
at the Grove.
Oh my gosh, that was a long
Yeah,
time.
right?
Oh.
She was in the audience. Now Vanessa is, of course, up on stage.
Yeah.
So, explain to folks what that is, and does it travel the whole country?
It does. It has. It's a puppet improv show that the Henson Company has put together. It came out of the training program that we do. We wanted to. It was Brian Henson's idea to help develop characters for the puppeteers that he's working with, and so he brought in Patrick Bristow from the Groundlings to work with us on improv. And it was just going to be like one, session with him, and it just turned into a weekly thing. And then before you knew it, we were finding that we really could apply regular, standard professional improv techniques to working with the puppets. It needed a little bit of translation and a little bit of massage, but the formula essentially works. And so we ended up going to the Aspen Comedy Festival, and then the Edinburgh Festival saw us, and they brought us out there, and we did the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. So we've been touring around. We did a bigger, better version of the show starting in 2010 in New York. We were off Broadway there for about 4 months, I guess.
Good.
And can I explain to people that haven't seen it, the thing that's really great about the show is that it's 2 shows. You get to choose as an audience member how to edit your own version of the show that you're watching. So what I mean by that is you go into a theater and there's screens on either side of the theater, and if you choose to, you can just watch those screens, and it is just what you would normally see on like the Muppets. You see
we have a camera on stage.
Yep.
We play to the camera.
Yeah.
And the TV show, the puppet show, is up on
is
the
up on
big
the screen.
screens.
And then what's fascinating is if you're an audience member who wants to see how the spaghetti is made, or whatever they say, this sausage is made, you look right up on stage and you see these people with puppets above their head running in, and it's like choreography, how they get in and out of situations, and they'll go out of a scene a certain way and they'll come back in, and it's fascinating to watch the actual puppeteers work in front of you. And they are able to do comedy that way as well. I mean, it's just there's so many things to look at, and you can see a different show.
And they have an
every
audience
time.
to play off of too.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a
there's
live.
it's all live.
laughter,
Yeah, it's all
and
live.
they get suggestions.
Yeah, we played
It's
we get
great.
suggestions from the audience,
Yeah.
just like regular improv
It's
shows.
never the same show twice at all. It's up
and
to
it's
you and them.
crazy because
It's
we
funny.
can.
It's dirty too. It can be a little dirty.
It can be a little
saucy.
dirty, and that's mostly from the audience.
Yeah, the audience will give you those
they
suggestions.
shout out the dirtiest
Oh,
suggestions.
Of course. Can we get a suggestion?
What we learned after a while was, someone give me a job like proctologist and a place like a bathroom. So you get those off the table.
We give those right away.
Yeah, there you go.
There was also a puppet showgirls too. I don't know. Did you guys ever do that? What? No, they do a puppet showgirls.
See, now
yeah.
you're the one making up shows.
Oh, the movie Showgirl?
You know, it sounds like it. Yeah. Yeah,
With
that's-
puppets.
Yeah, it's been going on for years.
Oh, my
Live?
goodness.
It's an all puppet showgirls. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah.
Hand puppets or marionettes?
Hand puppets.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
All right, well, whatever floats your boat.
Seems custom made for marionettes for
I
some
know,
reason.
right? If you're gonna
I
do
thought-
nipple twerking, you gotta have, Yeah.
Oh, and then Puppet Up is going to have a residency now in Las Vegas.
Oh, perfect. That makes sense. That's
yeah,
great.
starting is it June or July, something like that, at the Venetian.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh, really good. That's
yeah.
cool.
So it's going to be a
bucks and big
semi-permanent thing there. And
So you're going to live in Vegas?
Well, it's the cast rotates.
Okay.
I mean, there's 6 people in the cast, and we're just a few hours from LA.
Mm-hmm.
So what we found in New York was that it's improv can get stale very quickly when you're doing the same thing.
Try
over and
watching
over
it.
again.
I mean, it sounds amazing. Sounds amazing.
But just cycling in a new cast member will freshen things up for everybody. It changes all the dynamics around, and it keeps things
Especially if
fresh
he's
then.
wanted by the police. No. Made it more dramatic than it was.
And another thing that's kind of neat, at the beginning they have a song that's rehearsed and it gets the show going. And that is like choreography. It's like clockwork to watch
Yeah.
them go in and out, and they're changing characters, and it's just really
We do
cool.
a few set pieces like that. We do some recreations of very old
yeah.
Henson pieces, like
yeah?
pre-Muppet
Yeah.
things like Java that were done like way back on the Ed Sullivan Show. So we recreate
That's
a
cool.
couple of those things. And, we got a closing song and all that. So there's a few
Yeah.
rehearsed bits, but everything in between is...
Fun. Is it popular in Vegas? Sorry.
I hope so.
Oh.
We haven't opened yet.
I have a feeling it should do fine. Avenue Q did well there.
Yeah.
And that was a puppet show of sorts. But I think this is even better because this changes all the time. So if somebody wants to see it and then bring people back, they're going to see a totally different show.
Yeah, it's great that way. The other nice thing is that, when you're performing improv as a fleshy performer, as a regular
Fleshy.
improv,
That's what they call us, huh? Go ahead. Go ahead.
We're the fleshy.
you can't really break character or look at the audience. You can't do all those
Yeah.
things.
Fuzzies and fleshy.
But we can sort of let the audience in on what we're doing. We can, as ourselves, we can make eye contact with each other and with the audience. Sometimes we can be cracking up, but the puppets can be totally straight-faced.
That's great.
So it really.
All I remember is
That's
I
cool.
went to see this thing, and it stays with me because I went, oh my gosh, puppets were doing some stuff. They were doing some acting there, and the out from the scene called for the puppet just going down on another puppet. And it was the funniest thing I think I've ever seen, because he just literally physically the puppet goes down below the border of the camera, so you can see the camera on the screen. You can see, I know what's happening there, but then you see the actual actor finishing up the whole going all the way down. Fantastic.
Yes, it's a family show.
It'll be great in Vegas.
Have you ever heard of puppetry of the penis? Okay, that's the last thing I'm going to say.
That's playing in
sounds made
Vegas
up.
now as
Yeah.
well.
Sounds
we got
made
some
up.
competition there, puppetry-wise.
Oh my gosh.
There's one more thing I'm concerning your on-camera appearances.
Oh, okay.
Which you
Oh,
have
good.
many.
Oh, yeah.
I quote you all the time.
Oh.
My
No
friend,
way.
Send more cops.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's you?
Were the zombie in Return of the Living Dead.
Yes. Well, I was one of them.
Wow.
I didn't actually say that particular line.
No, I was going to say now because We were done up in so much stuff. I'm sure it was ADR, and I was wondering if it was you.
Yeah, I was the Tarman character. I was the one that came out in
You're the
Return of
Tarman?
Is that the best?
What?
What a great movie.
Why didn't you say you were a celebrity when you first sat down? The Tarman?
You don't get notes before the show?
I didn't get that note.
No, I wanted this reaction.
Holy crap. That's awesome. I just had a conversation growing up as a huge horror fan. I reconnected with like my second grade best friend and call him and we just ended up talking about Return of the Living Dead, like dumb stuff we talked about.
Now you'll have to tell
fourth
him
grade anyway.
you were here with the Tarman.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a great movie.
That's a great movie.
It really holds up well. I mean, it's a B movie. We're not going to win any
knows
Oscars.
it's a B movie.
Yeah.
That's the important thing.
That's the thing.
When
It
the movie
it's a B
knows what
movie.
it is, you can't criticize it for being that. It's that.
And
that movie's entertaining as hell.
It's
Entertaining as hell.
hilarious. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, the actors were great. I mean, James Karen and Clu Gulager.
Clu Gulager. I ran into him all the time.
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
Down at the New Beverly Cinema.
Yes,
Yeah,
all
he's
the
always down
time.
there.
Yes.
Don Calfa. All these great
The guy that played
character
Tommy
actors.
from Friday the 13th Part 5 or 6. Yeah.
Tom Matthews. Yeah.
Tom Matthews. That's right.
So they were all. They were so good. They were like a comedy act. You know, and they played it so straight, and it just turned out.
Now that I
hilarious,
think about it, more bad things happening to punk rockers. But anyway.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
was the theme this week.
But that was the first movie where the zombies specifically requested brains.
Oh,
Really?
They hadn't.
They
yeah.
said the phrase brains. That's the
Oh,
first
yeah.
time.
That was my line.
That was your
It
line, yeah.
brains, blam, and then I see all the rest of them. I go, more brains. Bruh.
Yeah. Well, if you don't know the movie, I have to spoil one scene because it's one of my favorites where the zombie kills a cop, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then like he hears the radio going on in the car, so he goes over and he picks it up and he says, "Send more cops." So more cops show up and then a ton of zombies attack. I mean, it's the greatest.
It's hilarious.
The funny thing about
They should have learned to talk in those Romero movies. They would have accomplished a lot more.
That is so smart.
so
Well,
smart,
that's the
right?
thing about this movie. It was the first time they
you're
had like
ordering-
smart
You're ordering
zombies.
takeout.
You're ordering takeout.
You're like, I need a little more zombie, please, or a little more cops.
And they were fast.
Oh, they got right there. Yeah.
They
Oh,
were-
the zombies
the
could
zombies
move,
were
yeah.
fast, yeah, which hadn't
Yeah,
been
it's
done
true.
before.
They
It
were
was-
the most threatening zombies we'd seen, really, up until that time. And it seems weird now, but up until Shaun of the Dead or the remake of Dawn of the Dead, there were like 6 zombie movies total from 1968, the original, until then.
It's
and
a
now there's a
total-
huge explosion. But
Yeah, now you got a TV series.
I mean, Return of the Living Dead might be the 10th zombie movie, and that's like, it's 15 years after Romero's original,
Yeah.
The great Dan O'Bannon.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
is that Dan O'Bannon, who wrote Alien?
Yep. He wrote and directed this. He wasn't supposed to direct originally. I think it was Tobe Hooper was going to direct originally.
I can see that.
And then he dropped out for whatever reason. And at the last minute, I think Dan O'Bannon had to take over.
It's a great horror comedy.
Yeah.
So send more cops.
So see Return of the Living Dead. That's fantastic. I didn't know you were famous. That famous.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, he's very famous.
I'm very famous in a small world.
That's a major.
That's one of the great movies of all
moment.
time. Speaking of greatest movies of all time,
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you what I ask every guest
Oh,
who comes on
my
my show.
God.
What
Oh,
is
no.
your favorite movie of all time?
Oh, jeez. Okay, so I was actually like up in the middle of the night thinking about this.
Yes, this happens.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't expect like
No,
a
they
quick
do.
answer.
No.
I expect more
no.
tired guests on our show
Yeah.
from losing sleep the night
Because
before.
I was just trying to figure out how to possibly categorize this.
We
because
expected a quick answer for the first 3 years, maybe 2.
Now we don't.
No,
No,
not
we
at
don't.
all. There's no way.
Now, if you're up all night, we expect a correct answer.
Oh, no!
You've given it that much thought.
Well, first of all, I had to eliminate any movies that weren't at least, 15 or 20 years old. Because, to be really great, it has to withstand the test of time. Yeah. And so
You've already put way too much thought into this.
And then it's like, how do you compare movies like Lawrence of Arabia with To Kill a Mockingbird?
It's a good question.
It's like comparing the Sistine Chapel ceiling with the Mona Lisa. It's like,
But that's where the word
Wow.
favorite comes in.
yeah, exactly. So I had to think.
They're
All
both
right,
good.
I'm gonna eliminate like all the genre films.
Okay.
So that
You are or aren't?
I am. I'm gonna eliminate like
What's wrong
genre
with you?
films.
We're getting a very
This is
detailed
really
look
interesting.
into this
Yeah.
process. I like
I had to slice them off one by one. So I said, okay, films like Raiders of the Lost Ark are incredibly amazing films.
That's my number one.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I said I'm going to put that aside. And
Also
just,
30 plus years old.
What I ended up looking for was a movie that sort of where most of the way through it, I was going, I can't believe I'm seeing this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where I am. I don't know how this movie has gotten me here.
So it's still Return of the Living Dead?
So the movies I keep coming back to are movies like Being There.
Not the first time
Peter
that's been
Sellers.
mentioned here.
Peter Sellers, yeah.
Which I'm just bowled over with every single scene in that.
And I will say again, Hal Ashby did not direct enough movies. But
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and that is an amazingly well-directed movie because I believe
it's a great
Peter
script.
Sellers, I mean, the way he plays off of everything is just...
Yeah, and it's a fantastic script.
Yeah.
Jerzy Kaczynski. The other movie that keeps coming back to me is To Kill a Mockingbird, which is like a perfect movie.
Yeah.
That just takes you to, and that movie in particular is kind of magical in a way that very few movies are, because the main character and the protagonist are two different people. The main character is Scout, and you see the entire movie through her eyes, and yet her father is the protagonist who moves the plot along. You know, and so there's this magical quality that permeates the entire film that you just pulled. It just pulls me along from the inside out. And then there's like Field of Dreams.
Oh yeah,
that is a perfect.
It's a perfect
that
film.
was mentioned a couple weeks ago as well.
And I'm left a sobbing mess at the end of it.
And you're absolutely right when you said there's those movies where you go, how does this even exist?
Yeah.
How does a movie come and just all the characters make these non-writerly choices where it's just like they just move from this thing, and you can't just tell someone go do this. I mean, you just can't have a voice say that. I mean, you can't do that.
Yeah.
That would never make it through development.
Exactly.
But it's just like that whole movie just like works like it's there's another movie like that, but there isn't. But this is the best one of these. They really mastered this format of which there is only one. It's like crazy.
Exactly. It's just, and it's magical in that sense.
It is, yeah.
It's
That's
like it takes
really
you on a
magical.
trip, and you never know where you are. You feel like you've been dropped off in some crazy neighborhood, and anything can happen. And you're not disappointed.
After your in-depth analysis and all the consideration you've given to this answer, it kind of makes me feel like my Jack Reacher is a little silly. just a little silly. I'm just saying.
Bart, it is not silly.
Okay, thank you.
Now see John Wick.
Okay.
Do we just break news that you've put Jack Reacher over A Few Good Men?
That mostly was a joke.
Okay.
Honestly, A Few
I
Good
got
Men
the
is
joke,
my-
but
yeah.
had to check in with
Yeah.
you because
No,
that would be big news.
Both of those are movies. A lot of times when people struggle with this answer, I say, what's the movie you can always watch? And for me, I can always watch Few Good Men. And I happen to believe that that's a perfect movie in the sense that there is simply not a wasted word scene moment in that movie.
Yeah.
But having that as the criteria, Jack Reacher is another movie I can just always watch. Ocean's 11, I can always watch.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of movies that just go down easy,
Yeah.
and you can always watch them. But I just sort of had to.
Is your answer
eventually-
those three, or do we have one?
I don't know. It's, I sort of circle around those three.
I'll go
I
with
suppose.
three. All right.
I suppose the I'm left a sobbing mess at the end of To Kill a Mockingbird too, which
that's the one where old
maybe
Yeller
it's not a
dies?
perfect movie because you could say certain things about it are dated now, perhaps, but. The score is perfect. The screenplay is perfect. The story is.
Who directed that movie?
Such crisp execution too.
Yeah,
Just very executed.
I don't remember. Who?
All I know is I love the fact that her Halloween costume is a ham. She dresses up as a leg of ham.
And nobody questions it.
Exactly. Like all the kids went as lunch meats back then.
The poor kids went as ham, and the rich kids went as filet mignon.
And of course, an early spotting of the great Bobby D, Robert Duvall.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, he played Boo, right? So he was,
Yeah. Oh my God. And from that point on, as soon as he makes his appearance, it's like, you just get out the Kleenex and you game over.
Did Scout ever become the actress ever continue, or is it?
Yeah, she grew up to be Jodie Foster.
Not all young actors can be Jodie Foster.
Okay.
But it's a good go-to.
Yeah,
if you don't know.
you could see it.
Because you might be right.
I think she quit. I mean, what writer would write a book like that and then quit, or what actress would just?
But you talk about films that you could just watch anytime, over and over again. I mean, there's a lot of films like that for me. I mean, I could.
Which
watch,
is your favorite Tom Cruise movie?
That's a good question.
Legitimate question.
Legitimate question.
I don't know. He was. He's
All right,
he's a
I'll
good
just throw
actor.
some out.
Right?
Top Gun. Far
Night and
Away.
Day. Night and Day is probably your favorite.
Risky Business.
I enjoyed.
He's in his underwear in Risky Business.
Yeah. What was the one he just did?
Live, Die, Repeat?
Where he's on that planet. Oh no, he's on
Oblivion.
Earth. Oblivion.
Yeah,
I thought that was
Oblivion's
really good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
Oblivion
that.
is good.
That is not Live, Die, Repeat. Live, Die, Repeat is
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow. Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that
Edge
was
of
the other good
Tomorrow.
one. That one I really liked.
Sequel in
So
development, by the way.
correct answer
Awesome.
to which is your
The good
favorite
guys do
Tom
win.
Cruise movie is all of them.
Yeah.
And Bart, are you aware that he is now the lead character in the reboot of The Mummy?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Isn't that
Oh
amazing?
no.
Yeah.
And
That franchise
on-set
just got better.
shots. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's an upgrade from. I like Brendan Fraser and all,
Fraser,
but that's
yeah.
an upgrade.
That's good casting because if anybody's kept himself together despite the years, Tom Cruise.
Well, that's what happens with Scientology.
That's what you want for a mummy, right?
Yeah.
Scientology. Oh my God, the tie-ins.
The tie-ins are perfect.
Don't think he's playing.
Oh, all right.
Gotcha.
All right, well, now
Still.
Karen, let's bring things home with your birthday segment of the show, where Karen looks at the birthdays of those who make the movies. Take it away.
Karen, did you have a story to share? Never mind. Just go ahead and do the birthdays. Never mind.
I'll
Has anything
do
happened to you
birthdays.
over the last week? Go
No,
ahead. Go,
nothing
just
important.
We'll do birthdays. We'll do birthdays.
So let's wish a very happy birthday to Kate Hudson, who turns 37. But she can play anywhere from the daughter of Bill Hudson to the daughter of Goldie Hawn. And this week she's going to be in the movie Mother's Day.
Yes.
She's one of the characters in there.
Stepdaughter of Kurt Russell.
She says that Kurt Russell is like a real father to her because she didn't really know a real dad growing up. So good guy, Kurt Russell. Also, I read the Martin Short book this weekend when we were on vacation, and there's a scene, there's a story in there where when Martin Short's wife died, I know, it's killing me. Martin Short's wife died, and so they, the people back in this cabin community where he goes for his summers wanted to welcome back that summer with his family because it was the first time they were going to do something, fun after that whole horrible tragedy. And so when they went to land, I guess they fly in and they land on a pond. But Kurt Russell insisted that, probably going to get teary-eyed talking about this, Kurt Russell went into town and bought all the flowers he could find, all the potted plants and flowers, and he put flowers all along the dock in pots, and then he planted flowers all the way up to the walk. So when the Shorts landed, they would see the flowers all over everything, and that was all Kurt Russell. He did it all himself.
See, that's a very touching story, and I was emotionally moved as well. But the other takeaway I got was Martin Short has a friggin' house on a lake, and Kurt Russell's his freaking neighbor, and they're flying planes and they see each other?
Yeah.
Martin Short?
Yeah.
Part of the long-lasting legacy of Captain Ron.
I mean, who
Friends
knew?
for life. Friends for life.
All right, so we know that Kate Hudson is also the daughter of Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, but she didn't want to use that to help her get work. So she actually turned down a role in Escape from L.A. because it starred Kurt Russell. And so she didn't want to be associated professionally with her dad right away because people might not believe that she got the part on her own, so she turned it down.
Good for her.
Yeah, right.
By the way, Kurt Russell does such a great half John Wayne in Hateful Eight. Like I keep telling you.
He's wonderful in that.
That's such a almost. I mean, there's in a lot of movies he's done, especially like Big Trouble in Little China and some of the more badass ones. He has this way of almost being John Wayne, but a little sped up. And
a ton of that in Big Trouble.
Yeah, a ton of that in Big Trouble.
Jack Burton.
Maybe. But I just watched him in something, and I think I'm going to do an experiment. If you slow down almost any role of his, I think it would, like if you take it and just pull it back a little bit, I think he sounds like John Wayne all the time.
Even Dexter Riley.
Now, we all know we've seen the first time that I ever saw Kate Hudson was when she played Penny Lane in Almost Famous. That was actually intended for Sarah Polley. But when Sarah Polley turned down the role and backed out of the project, Cameron Crowe was considering scrapping the whole thing together. But Hudson had already been cast in a very small role as William Stewart' sister, and she begged for a chance to read for the role. Once she read for the role, Cameron was like, "Oh, let's do it. We'll use you as the lead."
Wow. She's pretty epically
Yeah, she's kind of
cute
amazing
movie.
in that.
Yeah, it's really epic.
Yeah. So, as we all know, we're here to entertain as well as inform you about something.
Mostly inform.
Mostly
Oh, I
inform.
didn't know that.
And I'd
I
like
would've
to
prepared
inform the youngins out there to remember to learn to play the guitar if they're a boy who want to get laid.
Yes.
And here's why. Because
Does not matter what song you play.
it doesn't matter. It'll ensure you that you will get a higher caliber of chicks. Kate Hudson and Goldie Hawn both played groupies in movies, and Kate plays with a young groupie in Almost Famous. Of course, her mother, Goldie Hawn, plays a middle-aged rocker in the Banger Sisters. Her ex-husband is Chris Robinson, the lead singer of Black Crowes, and she is very good friends with Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones.
How good of friends could you be with Keith Richards?
I mean,
we're gonna hang out with
you're going to hang out with Keith Richards? He probably won't notice.
What are you going to sit around and talk to Keith?
You're just talking to Keith. He's like, all right, sounds good.
He's always hanging around with his hallucinations.
So, Kate, happy birthday to you. And also, let's wish another person who has a movie coming out this week. This is Mr. Method Man. He's going to be appearing in Keanu. He plays the character Cheddar.
Cheddar.
Don't know exactly what that means.
Great name.
He turns 45. He can play anyone from Clifford Smith, which is his real name, to Method Man, which is one of his monikers. Now, I think you guys may have seen him without even realizing it in the Fast and the Furious movies. In 8 Mile.
Who's he in Fast and Furious?
I don't know. Some guy.
He was one of the guys
He
driving
played
the car.
Cheddar.
Yeah,
I don't know. And he was a member of the rap group Wu-Tang Clan,
course.
who all love Bill Murray, of course.
Ghostbustin',
Yeah.
Groundhog Day, Murray.
So what I think is kind of fun is he was named Method Man by Wu-Tang producer RZA after the film The Fearless Young Boxer. The word method also is slang for weed in their neighborhood. So I submit to you, what other nicknames does Clifford Smith go by? I'm going to hand these out. Now,
if you shorten method,
we are
I
going
don't
to
think
go
that's pot.
around the room and read them in order, and you can play too.
These
so,
are real?
Paul, if you could play the NFL theme songs,
And if
these are real. And
Real what?
Real names that this guy Method Man goes by.
this would be a great contest.
All of these?
Yeah.
Now, once again, what are we reading?
This is Method Man's other
Pseudonyms?
pseudonyms. These are
Aliases.
nicknames that Clifford Smith goes by.
Johnny Blaze.
Hot Nichols.
Iron Lung.
T-Cal.
Shaquan.
Ticalian Stallion.
The Panty Raider.
Johnny Dangerous.
Blazini.
MZA.
Methical.
Mr. Meth.
And
Meth.
Meth.
Fantastic, gentlemen.
We'll let that high-pitched guy know an NFL film.
Bart, now in case you're wondering,
Ellen Reddy.
if you're wondering about Method Man, Bart, I just want you to know
was very curious.
he considers his third solo album, Title O, the prequel, to be his weakest album due to management problems.
This is true. I was wondering because I felt that.
Right.
To myself, I was like, I think it's his third
It's
album,
kinda
but I don't
weak.
want to.
It's gonna be validated,
to him.
though.
Yeah. So I don't want to offend him.
No, that's okay. But you know how much I love when celebrities sing.
This is true, Alan. I don't know if this happens to you at all, but when I'm out and about, people are constantly stopping me and they say, "Hey, tell me 2 interesting things about that Karen Volpe." And the first thing I tell them is
Yes.
she's not a puppeteer, but if you're not careful, she'll stick her hand up her. And then the other thing I tell people is that she loves when celebrities sing.
I do, and so
Well, you
since
found a clip of Method Man?
I know, and here's
Doing of all things?
but one where he's not swearing was a little more complicated. So here's a little 1995 Method Man singing something that I didn't write down and can't remember.
Actually, I think this is Hot Nichols.
It could be.
You sure this isn't Johnny Dangerous?
This is Hot Nichols. This is Iron Lung singing a little for you.
By the way, you said MZA. Don't you think he's probably called Mizza?
Mizza.
Oh,
Just like
Mizza,
the
you're
other
right.
guy.
That's so...
A lot of different
How white
names.
of
That's
you.
so not culturally astute of me. Mizza, yeah.
All right, well, that wraps
MCA,
another
I'm thinking of
movie
MCA.
showcast, everybody. Together with the movie guys, individually we are...
Kara
Say your
Volpe.
name, Alan.
Alan Trautman.
Follow us on Twitter at The Movie Guys, Facebook.com/The Movie Guys, iTunes, Instagram, Google+, whatever. LinkedIn, you'll find us. Thank you to all
actually
of our
heard this
listeners as well on WRFA 107.9 in Jamestown and WBAD on the internet. Thanks to Allan Trautman.
Yay!
You're welcome.
Where do we find you on
you.
social media?
AllanTrautman.com is the website. At Allan Trautman on Twitter.
Trout, but
I
not
try
like
not
the,
to hide.
But not like the fish. It's Trau.
Trautman.
Important.
2 L's in Allen, too. So I guess it is kind of hard to find me.
Yeah,
That's really hard. That's
Allan.
complicated, dude. If I may take a minute, I want to tell you why I got to sing for Bill Murray this weekend.
take a minute.
All right. So Paul and I went to see the Bill Murray charity golf event because Paul's the greatest husband ever. And when we were there, we ran into Chris Mulkey of Twin Peaks fame, who happened to know my friend Leah, who I'm a Boubet sister with. And when we ran up to him, he said, "Oh, I love the Boubet sisters." And I went, "I'm a Boubet sister." And he's like, "You want to sing a song?" I am not kidding you. That's how things are done in Hollywood.
Yep, right there.
It only takes 20 years
You
to
had
be
a
an
reputation
overnight
for being the type who
success.
sings.
All you have to do is show your boobay, and they let you right
They
in.
let you right in.
That's
So
always legendary.
I didn't know the song then, but I said, "I'll know it by tomorrow." And he said, "All right." So when I saw him the next night at the next party, I did my homework that night, and I learned the song, and I saw him, and I said, "I'll sing that song with you, and I know it now." And he went, "All right, great." He pulled me up on stage, and I sang for Bill Murray.
You look to your right, and there was Bill Murray. Bill Ghostbusting Groundhog Day Murray watching you
and
sing.
applauding and clapping, and it was crazy. Yeah.
Did you ever meet him or Ben Kingsley? Did you ever meet either of the people you
No,
were playing?
because they did the voices in a studio
So
somewhere.
they never
before.
came by or anything?
Nah, it's not like
Yeah.
they were saying, "Hey, let's go hang out on a film set where nothing's happening
but
most
I
of
could
the
be
day."
golfing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
All right, well, thanks to
Thank
Steve
you.
Scholes for his writing contributions to the show every week. And as ever, we owe everything
To Pat Peach.
And remember, you can find everything we're up to at themovieguys.net. Next week, it's all about Captain America Civil War. I'm sure something else is coming out, but who cares? We'll see you then. Thanks, Alan.
Yay!
Alan, best rehearsal we've had all week.
We should do a Letterman writer's embellishment.
When
the
did we go to air?
Celebrity Brush with Greatness. But I heard that wasn't the whole story.